All right. Today I have a real special one in store for you guys. I am actually doing a twofer. We are going to go over chapter 5 and 6 at the same time. The audiobook will be combined with chapter 5 and 6, so no worries. It'll be combined. That way, there's a little bit more organization, and I'm still learning how to put all this stuff together, but that's okay. Trial by fire, right? So, let's get into it. So, Chapter 5, Legere, and Chapter 6, in Mane. I am your host and author, Connor Barvet, and I'm excited about this one. If you really enjoyed that fight scene with the demon, just wait. It gets so much more intense throughout the book if you're all about those really cool fight scenes. Chapter 7 and 8 definitely going to be up your alley. But let's focus more on these. So, if you don't remember, in chapter 3, Grimm had found a wand of sorts and ended up taking it back with him. Now, he did have this little battle with the demon, but Jim found a large interest in this said wand and wanted to research it further. So, just to kind of catch you up on what's going on throughout the next couple of chapters, Grimm nearly got killed fighting the demon. And he reached a point in his powers that he really hasn't had to push himself towards. And he was ready to send himself to oblivion. I mean, he was ready to die alongside the demon, even if that meant just protecting his sister in the name of protecting his sister. That's what I'm trying to say. So he successfully exorcises the demon, but nearly kills himself in the process. Jim removes the obsidian debris that hit him and sends him to bed to heal. So Grimm, nearly dying, found his way inside, and Jim helped him inside. Now, she successfully removed all the obsidian shards, even the ones that he didn't even know he had, and sends up to heal. Now, she took this wand and corked it in a flask. And now what we see here in this illustration, she's preparing something for the wand. She wants to actually create stuff for him, because what she found in this Presidium wand, which we'll get to in the chapters I'll read about, that this comes from an ancient tribe. And not to expose too much with the spoiler, but this wand has seen stuff, right? And she actually is not capable of utilizing or even using the wand herself, because it negates darkness and it vitalizes light. So we're gonna see kind of this mechanic between the wand and Grimm in the next two chapters. Now, what she wants to do is make a golem for Grimm, because what she found, like I said, it has this healing attribute that could be useful for him. That way she doesn't need to mana dump herself into making these potions, just so he can sustain himself just walking around. So again, they have this darkness dwelling within them called the shadow, and for him it's more of an uncontrollable state. It's kind of like a nuclear reactor that eventually is gonna fail. So for her, she always has to make a potion of sorts to sustain that inside of him. Now she has an artifact that's going to be able to do that for her. So this is Jim making the mold. She's going to install the wand inside of the bust of the magical clay, as you can kind of see that she's like within the font and kind of making her. Now, if you don't remember, in the last spoiler or character introduction, I actually introduced Alita a little too early, but I still think it was fine. It's something to look forward to, you know, and plus Alita is one of the coolest characters in the book, in my opinion, even though I'm the one who created her. She's honestly pretty dang cool. Jim can't help but being selfish. See, all these things that she's doing, don't fool yourself. Like I said, there's a sliver inside of Jim that you'll discover that actually does want to love Grimm. But the shadow that's created this kind of forecasted a shadow in a figurative way inside of herself is the majority. It's taking over. It is, if not already taken over. So a lot of the things, again, don't feel fooled. a lot of things that she's doing, they're for selfish reasons. So just keep that in mind as we go through the book. And she revealed one of her biggest playing cards is this transmutation called the Great Transmutation. She read in one of her father's books in the beginning of the book, and she discovered that there's this self-governed command center of the universe that kind of controls it. So it's outside of the plane. It's outside of all the planes of existence within the universe. And she's trying to get to that point where she can do what's called the Great Transmutation. Just to reiterate kind of what I mean by her being selfish. So again, here is another one. Alita is born. Alita is going to reveal herself in Mane, chapter 6, and it's kind of going to be a big deal. So what you're going to find, I'm not going to go over all these details because I already went over some of these details in chapter 4's character introduction. Again, it was a little bit premature. However, it'll make sense because with the wand and the character of Alita, it's kind of one and the same, if you will. It's the wand is Alita, but Alita manifests herself only because Gem makes it so. So just to reiterate this, she does have one of her, like, you could consider weapons, but what she wields is a very large and heavy. It's extremely heavy. And it doesn't make any sense. She's a small girl that has bandages over her eyes. You know, why is that? And she's capable of wielding such a large tower shield, which you'll find out the reasonings of this. Like I said, her raison d'etre is quite simple, to be quite honest with you. Her purpose is to revitalize Grimm and to kind of take off a workload from Gem. Now, just to go over Alita just a tiny little bit without spoiling everything, is Gem purposely made Alita with the intention of her going through transformations. So if you could imagine like evolution, you know, like Pokemon evolve, that's kind of what she is purposely doing. She wants this progression because she needs the progression so Grimm can reach that same exact type of transformation. So they're kind of like soulbound, if you could imagine. And while she's benefiting him, they also share each other's mana pool, they share each other's energy, and you could only imagine when Alita gets a taste, when she's done soul bonding with Grimm, it's going to be substantial. And training begins. Chapter 6, it's gonna be pretty big deal. So what we're gonna find out is that Grimm and Alita train together, and what they do after they're done training, they actually have skirmishes with Gem and Informe, and they're doing that on purpose. And what we'll find at the very kind of the end of chapter 6, it's leading up to something. It's leading up to a large skirmish, and you'll just have to wait for chapter 7 for what I mean by that. So without giving away everything before chapter 5 and 6 ends, I will see you in the audiobook, and I'm really excited for this one. If you're into those fight scenes like that we read in chapter 4, you're gonna love the upcoming chapters. But let's get into it. I'll see you in the audiobook. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.